It's a beautiful mid-June day here in Portland, Oregon. It's wet. It's gray. And I'm chilly. I miss you, Los Angeles and the greater Los Angeles area. I have a bit of a cold today and I'm starting very late, but there's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, and that is just spend an entire day with my sketchbook. So I'm going out, that's all I'm bringing. A brand new sketchbook, mechanical pencil, and a pen. That's it. It's about 10 minutes to noon. Gonna have some breakfast. So since it's so close to noon, does it mean that we skipped breakfast and we're just having lunch now? I'm so out of shape, this sucks. Not super happy with the results of the sketching at that place, but it was the first stop and I don't know where to go next. But eventually headed downtown, I think. And now for the second stop. It's the mall food court. There's gotta be some weirdos to draw. So my biggest goals today are to kick out the cobwebs a little bit. I'm feeling pretty rusty, and I'm hoping to maybe sketch something that is good enough to finish, or something that is good enough to move on to a finished piece, because I do need new portfolio stuff. I went downstairs to the Barnes & Noble to go draw in the Starbucks there, and saw this very interesting fellow. He looked like he was straight out of like a 70s gang police movie, something like that. Like he would be in like an extra, maybe hanging out at Huggy Bear's place in Starsky and Hutch. The rad thing was that he was there hanging out with his parents, though. Okay, we gotta get out of the mall. It's time to eat again. We're going to Elephant's Delicatessen. Look, I got a sandwich. They do it. I drew a rich guy on account of that I'm in the rich neighborhood. Okay, one more stop. Starting to poop out, and I'm going to try to fill up one more page. Hopefully this last page will be something that I can do as a finished piece. That's what my goal is going to be. And I'm going to do something more cartoony, something more fun. Alright, so I started this sketch at the cafe at Powell City of Books and decided that I'd bring it home to finish up. And I'm not finishing it up to be a final professional illustration level of quality, just finishing it up for the sketchbook. So this is just a cartoony sketch that I didn't use any reference for. I've always been a really big fan of kind of the 1930s type of cartooning and animation, that rubber hose style. And this might be only the third or fourth time I've ever drawn something like that. So just trying to end on a fun note, because today I didn't get nearly as many pages finished as I thought I was going to. And I had this idea in my head that drawing all day, I was going to find something in there that was going to be worthy of finishing to a professional level, something I could use in my portfolio. That didn't really happen, but that's okay. What's really important is that I've recently gotten back into doing work in my sketchbook. For years and years, I have pretty much neglected doing anything in sketchbooks. I mean, there would be the occasion when I might need to do something for my comic, The Monkey Mon Friends Show, like figure out a character design or an environment or vehicle, something like that. I would draw in a sketchbook a little bit until I figured something out that I liked, and then the sketchbook would lay dormant for months or years at a time again. But getting back into doing work in the sketchbook has become really important to me again. As some of you know, I spent most of last year in Los Angeles working as a graphic designer, and while I was working on my comic book and doing drawing where I was working down there, I wasn't doing much drawing outside of that. And the years previous to that, I'd gotten in kind of a mindset where I felt that if I was drawing, I had to make money off of it somehow. And so I've gotten to a point where I'm really seeing that by neglecting work in my sketchbook just for the sake of doing work, I feel like my work has kind of stagnated and my speed has gone way down. there just has not been the kind of progress or growth that I want for my art. And so I think back to times that I've been diligent about keeping sketchbooks. Like when I was in art school, I was burning through sketchbooks, and there is a massive progression. There's massive growth from when I first started to when I got out of school. And I think about how that correlates to my professional art career. As my skills would progress, in large part due to the practice I was doing in my sketchbooks, the quality of jobs and clients I would get would go up in quality as well. Going back a few years before my daughter was born, I had kind of hit a spot. I wasn't really working in my sketchbook. It seemed like my art had kind of leveled out. The kind of clients I was getting were kind of the same, but most of the time it just felt okay. The progress that I wanted wasn't really happening, so I made a decision that I needed to get an agent to help me get more work, and hopefully better work. And so I pursued that, and the rejection letters and emails came in droves. So then I decided to work more on my art, and I started doing sketchbooking again, and doing it a lot. And in doing that, I got faster. I started figuring out shortcuts that I didn't have before. My style began to alter a little bit. And of course, my skill level went up too. And so then, based on the stuff that was in sketchbooks, I developed a body of work and pursued agents again. And I got some rejection letters, and I got some that said that they wanted me. And I ultimately went with 2. I had 2 agents for a little while. One I ended up dropping, one I still have today. But here I am again, where I have kind of neglected sketchbooking, and things have stagnated, and I'm not getting the progression I want with my art and with my career. And so as you can see from this word picture that I'm painting, looking at the timeline backwards, things always got better. There was always more growth professionally and for my skill level when I was spending time working in my sketchbook just for the sake of doing art, just for the sake of sketching. It's funny, I think I've kind of come to a zeitgeist moment about sketchbooks at the same time as some other people I know. For example, I have this friend, Brandon Dayton, who is a fantastic artist, and he recently put out a video on his channel about finishing sketchbooks. And he shows this pile of sketchbooks, there's about 7 sketchbooks I think, that took him 2 years to complete, and then he holds up this one sketchbook that he's currently working on or he just finished, and it's taken him 3 years to get to that point in one sketchbook. And he comes to a similar conclusion than I did, that when he did those 7 sketchbooks, he saw a lot more progress, a lot more growth than he has in those 3 years to finish that one sketchbook he's got now. Brandon and one of his friends are also starting something called Sketchbook Summer. So I want to point everybody to his YouTube channel. I'm going to put a link in the description down below this video and a card up here on the video so that people can click and get there easily. And not just for the sketchbook challenge, but also I really think you guys should subscribe to his channel because he's a fantastic artist and he's got a lot of really good insight and wisdom in his videos. And it also feels kind of like it's in the zeitgeist right now too, because on Twitter, on Facebook, and on a recent hangout for my patrons at patreon.com/KevinCross, I answered a question or two about sketchbooking, and this has all come at a time when I feel like it's very important for me to get back into sketchbooking. And that's ultimately what I want. I want my art to keep getting better and better. I want to be able to make more money from my art so that I can afford to make more art and better art. Okay, I think that'll do it. Thank you for joining me on this day with me and my sketchbook. Don't forget to go check out and subscribe to Brandon's channel. Thank you all for watching, and a big thanks to my patrons over at patreon.com/KevinCross for helping to make this video possible. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.